Dear Sagittarius, listen closely, because there are moments when the universe stops whispering and calls your soul by its full name. And that moment is wrapping around you right now, like a sacred, rising heat. The energy around you is shifting so intensely that the forces which once tried to hold you down are starting to shake, expose themselves, and reveal their true nature. Not because you're fighting them, but because your light is growing so quickly, so fiercely, that anything hiding in the dark can no longer stay hidden. You've walked through trials that only chosen souls can endure. No one saw those nights when you stood back up alone, when exhaustion pressed against your bones, and all you had left was a thin thread of hope, yet you kept going. No one truly knows how strong you had to be just to stay kind, even when your kindness was mistaken for weakness. But what the world couldn't see, the universe saw clearly. Every wound you carried became armor. Every fall became a message from your soul. And every whisper behind your back, every quiet scheme, sharpened your intuition until it became a blade made of light. You've accumulated enough, and that energy has reached its ignition point. This is no longer the phase of quiet survival. This is the moment of your rise. Your light no longer fits inside old shapes. It's expanding, stretching, rising into a frequency that unsettles anyone who hasn't grown. They feel uneasy, threatened, even panicked. Not because you're doing anything to them, but because they can no longer influence or manipulate anything inside you. You may not realize it, but the opposing energy is already dissolving. The lies once used to blur your image are cracking. The predictions made about you are proving themselves wrong. The people who laughed, who dismissed you, are starting to shift their gaze, because the universe never needed you to defend yourself. Your energy is doing it for you. Sagittarius, you are the arrow, and an arrow is never forged in comfort. It's made through heat, pressure, and tension. You've been pulled back for so long, stretched thin, thrown into challenges that made you feel like you might break. But you didn't break. You were being aimed. The arrow you thought you lost is now fully charged, ready to fly farther than you ever expected. And the forces that once pushed against you are now collapsing under their own weight. Nothing harmful can survive near a soul that's awakening. When you lift your frequency, low vibrations fall away on their own, like fog disappearing under sunlight. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need to raise your voice. Real light doesn't fight. It simply turns on. A new door is opening for you, and the beauty is, it's not luck. It's energy justice. It's the balance the universe has been waiting to return to. Whether it arrives as a job offer, a financial blessing, a recognition, a clearing of your name, or a connection that expands your horizon, its essence is the same. A confirmation. A reminder that you were never on the wrong path. You were simply ahead of time. What's coming won't only surprise you, it will change the way you see yourself. You'll look back and realize what you called failure was preparation. What you thought was loss was alignment. What felt like delay was protection. and those who wronged you were merely side characters in your story of awakening. You no longer need to ask for validation. It's coming unmistakable, undeniable. You no longer need to explain who you are. Your new reality will speak for you. You no longer need to pretend you're strong. Your rise will show it. You are no longer the doubter, the one waiting, the one suffering in silence. You are the one who walked through darkness and never lost your soul. And because of that, your light is no longer gentle. It's radiant, powerful, uncontainable. Something unexpected is approaching. A shift that will change a direction you once believed was fixed. You're stepping into a brighter region, where every delay unlocks, and every force that tried to hold you back can only watch you rise. Stand tall, open your heart, and prepare for the chapter where you don't just survive, you truly live. Picture the astral realm, a place where every soul's truth is visible. There, your Sagittarius energy is glowing in a way even you haven't seen before. You've always been the seeker, the philosopher, the wanderer of horizons. But right now, your light is standing at the center of a silent war of justice. The shadows that once clung to your name are burning away. Your truth is so bright that every whisper meant to diminish you is fading like a thin shadow with no anchor left. Those who questioned your purity are now being forced to face their own flaws, their hidden motives, their quiet manipulations, their small betrayals are bouncing back at them like a mirror they can't escape. And the irony, the beautiful irony, is that every attempt to shake you actually pushed you into your next level. Their resistance became your momentum. Their doubt became your motivation. Their pressure became your breakthrough. They're panicking, not because you've done anything, but because they now realize that every door they tried to shut was just a springboard sending you into a wider, brighter realm. Good news, opportunities, recognition, redemption, expansion are moving toward you like a wave, a sign from the universe that you were never lost. You were simply waiting for the right timing. And the most shocking part is how fast it unfolds. The universe moves like a bolt of electricity when justice is due. Quick, precise, undeniable. Where you planted kindness, fire and gold are rising. Where they planted discord, silence and consequence will follow. Your steady faith, the same faith people once mistook for naivete, is actually the engine powering this entire reversal. Not everyone understands this truth. When a soul stays kind after being wounded, that soul becomes unbreakable. And that is why your energy is being amplified so fiercely right now. Your inner compass, your instinct, your intuition, your hunger for truth is being used by something higher as fuel to burn away everything that no longer belongs to you. Those who once hoped you would fail are trembling now, not because you're threatening them, but because they can clearly see the spiritual armor you built from pain and patience and resilience. And your arrow, the arrow forged from strength, truth, and maturity, is hanging in the air, waiting for the perfect moment to to strike the bullseye of justice. This moment isn't just a breakthrough. It's the moment the universe makes those who spoke in the dark fall silent in awe. Their collapse isn't something you're causing. It's simply the natural consequence of the imbalance they tried so hard to hide, and your victory is not luck. It's proof that you passed the deepest test of your soul. Prepare for a vibration to ripple out from the core of your energy, a tremor so deep it shakes the comfort zones of those who once believed they were above you. This is not a soft shift. This is a quake, a turning point that flips every false layer upside down. Your ruling force, the planet of expansion and truth, is acting like a judge who never swings a sword, but shines a light so bright no shadow can survive it. Their fear has nothing to do with your power, and everything to do with the realization that every lie they covered up is being peeled back, layer by layer by layer. Secrets that once hid in Exdom, the dark, the lies, the pretense, the manipulation are surfacing, not because anyone is exposing them, but because your energy has reached a level of purity that forces anything untrue to rise to the surface. This law cannot be reversed, and it's working now to return to you what you deserve: justice, clarity, and a new beginning. What waits for you ahead is not a small miracle. It's clear evidence that every patient step you took had purpose. That every day you chose not to give up is being repaid in full. A perfectly timed document, a confession you never expected, a truth illuminated, a piece of invisible evidence suddenly appearing, all of it leading to the same destination: revelation and release. And you're standing at the center of expansion. Your energy right now is so wide, so clean, so powerful, that everything dishonest is being pushed to the surface like sediment rising in stirred water. Forces that once protected others, power, connections, the silence of the crowd are slipping through their fingers like sand. Their panic isn't because you're getting stronger. It's because your strength exposes what they tried to bury. Sagittarius, your fire is burning away what is false, unclean, and weak. A house made of straw cannot stand in the flames of truth. You don't need revenge. You don't need explanations. You don't need to understand why they acted as they did. Silence, elevation, and observation are your sharpest weapons now. Let the universe do the heavy lifting. Let your light do the talking. You are the archer of truth, and once your arrow leaves the bow, nothing in this world can stop it. Its force will cut through every cloud and clear the path ahead until your future is not only obstacle-free, but radiant. Prosperity is moving toward you, not only in the form of wealth or opportunity, but in the shape of peace, clarity, and the brilliant restoration of your name, your identity, your essence, your dignity are being lifted back to their rightful place as sacred gifts no lesser force can touch. And that is why the opposing energy is terrified. They know that every attempt to dim your light will never work again. A cosmic turning point is forming, a moment where truth rises above everything. and the darkness must taste the poison it brewed. All you need to do is open your heart and allow the current of victory to flow toward you. What's approaching doesn't just confirm your strength. It confirms that you are an untouchable soul, protected by a force that envy cannot comprehend. Ask your heart this question: how does it feel now that justice is approaching like lightning breaking open the night? Is it trembling? Or is it waking up? Ready? Because this is the complete redemption your soul was promised long ago. Divine justice, whole and immediate. This isn't a phrase meant to comfort you. It's a truth being activated inside your field right now. We've spoken about the panic of those who opposed you, about the distorted vibrations born from jealousy, but the core of your victory doesn't lie in their downfall. It lies in the cycle of merit you've been weaving through the smallest choices. Choosing honesty when lying would have been easier. Choosing kindness when indifference would have been simpler. Choosing patience when retaliation was tempting. All of that has built a wave that cannot be stopped. For a long time, you felt like every small step required twice the energy. That friction wasn't punishment. It was refinement, like metal being heated until it becomes a weapon that cannot break. You've been inside the forge of the universe, only to emerge as a soul vibrating too high for any dark arrow to pierce. Now, the air around you is being purified. Karmic mechanics, invisible but powerful, are rearranging the axis of your timeline. Those who sent out malice, who spread poison, who tried to disrupt your work or relationships, are feeling the rebound as the stones they threw fall back into their own waters. Every dark intention aimed at you is now rushing back like a magnetized arrow, returning to its sender with multiplied force, fueled by the justice expanding through your soul. And that's why they can't understand why their foundations are cracking, why alliances are dissolving, why resources are draining, and why truths they buried are rising like a curtain being pulled open. The strange part is, you're not doing anything. All you're doing is being yourself, and the universe is doing the rest. This shift, this reversal, this unlocking will appear in 3 unmistakable ways. The first is clarity. As if the last layer of fog is being blown out of your mind, you'll see who is genuine and who is only a shadow. This vision will guide decisions that accelerate your finances and your path in a straight, unmistakable line. Next comes the shift in the power structures around you, a shift that will feel almost surgical. If you've struggled with systems, with bureaucracy, or with people in positions of authority who tried to hold you back, you're about to receive the first sign, a small movement, sharp as a blade that everything has turned in your favor. A document, an email, a phone call, a sudden adjustment in a process, whatever form it takes, it will confirm one simple truth: you were never wrong. And finally comes emotional release. The weight you've been carrying, the disappointment, the insult, the sadness, the frustration will leave your body like the long breath after an exhausting day. You'll feel a kind of strength that only those who have been deeply misunderstood can ever feel. Spiritual freedom. Your opponent's fear is the sound of their own prison door creaking open. Because your light is not just powerful, it is penetrating. It reaches into the dark corners they thought no one would ever see. And the universe does not play games with justice. It rewards with precision, and it corrects injustice with an accuracy that makes the human ego bow its head. The energy now in motion is opening a gateway to sustainable prosperity. Because true wealth for Sagittarius has never been material. It has always been integrity and freedom. And when those are restored, material abundance follows naturally. There is no limit to what you can receive now. The horizon before you is widening in miraculous ways. What once felt impossible is now simply preparation for a new reality. The curtain has been lifted. The universe has decided. The confusion of those who wronged you will be the first signal that justice is being activated. Jupiter's protection is lifting you out of low vibrations and placing you exactly where you belong. Karmic correction is happening not as a metaphor, but as a living mechanism, a natural balancing force, and it is freeing you. An arrow of truth is being fired from the center of your soul, an arrow that cuts through darkness, cuts through lies, cuts through every place where someone once manipulated your path. None of this is coincidence. You have been through a massive purification cycle, where old layers peeled away one by one, and now you're witnessing the results. A major reward, a clear victory, a reversal that exceeds your expectations. What comes to you now is not random luck. It is divine compensation for the reputation that was damaged, for the time that was wasted, for the opportunities that were blocked, for the energy that was drained from you. And everything you thought was lost is returning. Not in its old form, but stronger, truer, and more deserved. You don't have to chase it. You only have to step into it. Everything unfolding around you now, the spiritual elevation, the strange events in the physical world, they all originate from the same source. Your unbreakable faith and the unmistakable intervention of the universe. Doors are opening not because of luck, but because truth is rearranging reality. And the root of this opening is exposure, the final unmasking of someone who once stood beside you. Someone you considered neutral or harmless or irrelevant turns out to have been the one leaking information, planting discord, quietly pushing you out of positions that were rightfully yours. You don't need to call them out. You don't need to accuse them. You don't even need to say their name. The pressure of the universe is enough to make that mask fall off on its own, humiliatingly and completely revealing the truth, as if pulled upward by an invisible hand of justice. Their collapse is not your victory, it is simply the space you are meant to step into. And when that space opens, your expansion rushes in like a flood, wealth, elevation, opportunities returning from the dead. A surprise payout, a position of power, a delayed approval, a passport to a new horizon. Any form it takes will be the universe restoring what was stolen from you. This isn't just success. This is the return of your power. The heat around you now is not just recovery, it is sacred fire. A layer of armor made of light, integrity, and unshakable spirit surrounds you. Any harmful intention sent your way burns to ash before it reaches you. This is why the ones who tried to harm you are trembling. They can feel judgment approaching not from people, but from something greater, something uncompromising. Their fear comes from knowing that this purifying fire cannot be avoided, cannot be delayed, and cannot be resisted. And this is the moment you must act with the boldness of a soul protected by Jupiter. This is not the time to hesitate. This is the time to sign, to launch, to expand, to choose, even what once felt risky. The sky is backing you. The timeline is bending toward you. This is the point of no return, where every step you take is fueled by justice, by wisdom forged through fire, and by a higher layer of destiny. Receive this restoration with an open heart and trust that scarcity has left your life forever. You are not just being compensated, you are being elevated, restored, and repositioned on the map of your own energy. What was stolen is returning. What was closed is opening. What was hidden is being revealed. Can you feel it? The air around you is changing, vibrating, shifting, like your soul is standing at the threshold of something vast and new. The arrow you once fired into the dark was not a warning, it was a declaration. And now it returns to you carrying the spoils of truth. A powerful event is approaching fast, sharp, beyond logic. This is when the supernatural touches the physical, and everything in your life moves. The universe is rearranging the entire karmic axis inside you, around you, even through your ancestral line. A great correction is beginning. And if you feel heat in your body, a restless spark in your stomach, an urge to act, then you're ready for the real rebirth. Jupiter, your celestial guardian, is activating the wisdom you earned through endurance, sacrifice, and awakening. And now those lessons are turning into power. This is not luck. This is non-negotiable reward. The soul of the cosmic archer is reaching a point where illusions of financial limitation can no longer exist. Many Sagittarians have felt their finances blocked as if by an invisible wall. But that wall is cracking. What once looked impossible is becoming tangible numbers, contracts, confirmations. A new financial cycle is being rewritten from the roots. Your finances are not just increasing, they are accelerating in leaps, in waves, in surges so big even you will be shocked. An old investment you wrote off suddenly revives. A delayed inheritance is resolved. An international opportunity once denied is reopened. A buried project is now in demand. The universe is handing you a blank check, an empty promise filled with power, and you will decide its value through your wisdom and through your integrity. Wait for a message, an email, a phone call, something that stands right on the border between your past and your future. Wait for a dispute to end, for a long-held asset to finally be released, for the public fall of someone who once stood in your way not because of you, but because their own actions have finally turned against them. And when it happens, you will understand. You were never weak. You were simply being positioned so your light could expose what wasn't real. They will watch your rise with no ability to interfere. Your frequency is now too wide, too bright, too strong for any psychological armor they built to withstand it. You are no longer distorted, no longer restricted, no longer held down. What's Coming toward you is far more than you imagined. Prepare yourself. The manifestation gates are open. And freedom, the sacred value of Sagittarius, is rushing toward you at the speed of light. What's arriving is not small. It is not a minor opportunity, a modest payout, or a vague shift. What's forming is absolute freedom, the kind only Jupiter grants to souls it has chosen. Freedom from the roots, freedom in your body, freedom in your breath, freedom from every limit others once placed on you. Freedom that washes away years of being suppressed, misjudged, and underestimated. Say it out loud to activate the axis you're entering. Jupiter grants me absolute freedom. You were once the archer of truth, drawing new horizons with wisdom, with philosophy, with a restless, searching spirit. But now the universe is confronting you with a new paradox. The truth you've been chasing is becoming material. The arrows you once shot into the invisible arrows of intention, vision, and faith are returning in physical form. Jupiter is pulling the weight of the earth down into your hands, forcing your highest ideals to become concrete, tangible, lasting. And what terrifies your enemies is not your new dream or your next adventure. It's the crystallization of a value you created long ago without even realizing it. A quiet act of courage, a forgotten kindness, a moment of integrity you barely remember, but the universe never forgot. It stored that arrow in the vault of your karma, and now returns it to you in full, greater, clearer, heavier, with blessing. Many placed their bets on your instability. They saw your movement as a flaw. They believed a fire sign that never stops moving could never build anything lasting. But now they see how wrong they were. You weren't distracted, you were gathering wind. And when wind gathers long enough, it becomes a storm. Jupiter is acting like a massive conductor, pulling every good intention, every sacrifice, every generous act you've ever made back into your field. All of it converges into a foundation so large you can no longer deny it. The treasure that's about to appear, fast, precise, unexpected, comes directly from an arrow you shot years ago. An arrow you thought was lost. But nothing is ever lost in the universe. There are debts the human world may ignore, but the universe does not. The energy of the 8th house, hidden resources, buried wealth, secret agreements, deep transformation is lighting up. What was once concealed from you out of jealousy, out of greed, out of fear that you knew too much is being dragged into the light. Not because you sought it, but because the universe demands that the truth surface. Darkness only wins when the light is absent, but your light now is too strong. It cuts through the masks, through the veils, through the structures others tried to hide behind. It forces secrets to tremble and walk out on their own. What was held back, money, rights, information, opportunity, is flowing back to you. Nothing can stop it. This flow has two purposes: to grant you permanent freedom and to expose the ones who profited from your lack of knowledge. This freedom isn't only spiritual, it's material sovereignty, something Sagittarius rarely asks for, but absolutely needs in order to soar. When financial freedom appears, you are no longer restrained by anyone's limits. no longer controlled by small-minded forces, no longer shrinking yourself to fit into spaces beneath you. They do not fear your rise. They fear that your rise will expose their mediocrity. The universe is giving you the power to build a foundation, to anchor yourself, to create an empire from which you can travel anywhere without ever losing your center. The word debt will soon become a distant memory, a land you once passed through but will never return to. This is the moment Jupiter's promise becomes gold. Gold that cannot be shaken by anyone's opinion. This foundation is coming into your hands, solid, visible, undeniable. A new door requires your openness. Cosmic justice is delivering sustainable wealth. Affirm it into your field. Cosmic justice brings me lasting abundance. The pressure you felt recently was never punishment. It was the signal of a destiny shift. You're stepping out of an old timeline, one where truth was distorted, where light was hidden, where progress was blocked by unseen hands, and now you're stepping into a place where no one can interfere anymore. The universe has recorded your merit and is paying it back fully, precisely, non-negotiably. Your opponent's fear is a sign. Every mistake they're making now is karma snapping back. You don't need to resist. You only need to witness. The cosmic mirror is reflecting everything. What was thrown at you returns threefold to the sender. Jupiter is accelerating the speed of karma, and you simply stand there, calm, clear, watching justice take form. A rare alignment between Jupiter and the light of Orion is activating a sacred fire shield around you. No more doubt, no more paralysis, no more overthinking. Tomorrow, you will see your path as sharply as an arrow hitting its mark. And on that path, what was missing, money, opportunities, recognition, will appear. Not just appear in a way no one can dispute. An email, a call, a decision, a payment, a cleared debt, an offer, a long-delayed apology, or the collapse of someone who tried to suppress you. The clarity that comes next restores your faith in yourself and in the destiny that's opening beneath your feet. Masks will fall with breathtaking speed. You won't need to judge anyone. The truth will reveal itself in words, in actions, in eyes. Those who smiled at you while hiding envy will be exposed in a way beyond repair. And when it happens, you won't be angry. You'll simply walk away. You'll choose release. You'll choose a new chapter where toxic souls carry no weight. The moment your arrow hits its highest target is almost here. The moment the world is forced to admit your light is undeniable. Jupiter is clothing you in pure gold, the light of prosperity, truth, and awakened power. And in that light, cosmic victory is already forming. Engrave this into your field. Cosmic victory is unfolding right now,